Well, hello and welcome to another movie review from MBE. Today, John, we're going to be talking about 1993's The Fugitive. This was directed by Andrew Davis and stars Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones. I could go on, but it really just stars those two guys.
Yes, and John Tatigliano, if I can say his name. The guy from The Matrix who... I'm pretty sure he was in The Matrix and had the steak.
Yeah,
and it looked
Cypher,
so good. Cypher, that's the one, not Cyrus as I keep calling him. He's not John Malkovich from Con Air. We've done that. Stephen, this movie, I have nothing but good memories of watching this movie when I was younger. And I think that speaks volumes. When I was younger, I was watching this. This tells you what Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford were in the 1990s, when a younger version of me was encapsulated, there's a big fancy word for you, with what was happening on the screen. Truly brilliantly crafted story. Stephen, what did you make about this when you first seen it? Obviously, it was way back in 1993, as you did say. I was only 4.
I was 17, John. So there you go, folks. You know the age gap between myself and John. But I remember seeing this film, John, not long after its VHS release. My dad was a big fan of the television series, the 60s or 70s, I can't remember. So he kind of filled me in on what the story was about, who Dr. Richard Kimball was and why he was getting pursued. But
they made a whole TV show out of this guy getting pursued.
Yeah, it was
a long-going sort of US Marshal.
A very successful television series, you know.
I suppose it would do well. Yeah,
as long as he doesn't get caught.
Yeah, and that's one of the most
tantalising things. Forever. But Harrison Ford, we're both big fans of Harrison Ford. Tommy Lee Jones, of course, and you're right, two big players in the early 90s. Funny, because 15 years on, they were still two big players. That shows you the sort of the magnitude and the pool of these two actors. The cast is very small, John. So that's the reason I just said Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones, because I know we'll talk about performances later on in the review, but it's going to be a difficult one because I think we know where we're going with that. But seeing this film for the first time, fantastic, absolutely amazing. Just a cat and mouse game throughout. I thought it was very important that we got the sort of first 15 minutes of the film to really establish what the scenario was, what had happened, who Dr. Richard Kimball was, and the way that was shot as well. What did you think about the way it was shot, John? The actual murder, of his wife, because I thought it was handled very well.
Slick.
Yeah, and it was brutal. I think later on in the film they do they play it out a wee bit more in depth, don't they?
Yeah, just shortly after, because obviously he is taken out of the apartment block.
Yeah.
He gets taken down to the police station. They are interrogating him on what happened. He's talking about this pathetic man who's been in the house. He's attacked his wife. He's the killer. They're not having much of it. They're convinced that he's involved. His prints are all over it and everything and whatnot. But I really enjoyed the way it was shot, Stephen. And now, in hindsight, what you mentioned about the actual TV show, I think that's probably why, because they would have known their demographic for this movie, that it would have had fans maybe jumping over from the TV show. They already know what the basic premise to this story is, so they didn't screw about. It's almost like Homecoming with Spider-Man. Everyone knows Spider-Man's origin story. Get that out the way as quickly as possible and then right into the actual main plot.
They could have went two ways with this, John. They could have either made this film a whodunit, where the audience are have to go along with the US Marshals and try to piece this together, or they could have made it in the way that they did with Dr. Richard Kimball. It doesn't flat out say that he's innocent at the start of it. The way it's shot is actually very clever. I think it leaves it open-ended.
Because you see him getting home, and then it cuts to the wife, and you're not sure if it is him or this sort of mysterious other figure. So really well.
But you're also, as you say, you've got to cater to the demographics as well. The ones that would have been familiar with the television show, that knew that he was an innocent man. So I think they balanced it well. And also, throughout the film, it's Dr. Richard Kimball that's got to piece this mystery together, because he has to try and work out where this one-armed man came from. What was his motives? Why was he in the house that night? What was he looking for? What was he after? So it really is like a detective sort of storyline, which so unique. And just having that pursuit of the US Marshals on your tail, not too far away from you throughout the whole film, really. I think there's maybe just a bit in the middle where they're they break off.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's when he finds his digs, isn't it? Like a bed and breakfast. That's where they finally kind of break off. And
you need that, because that gives him the moment to really dig into this perpetrator who obviously killed his wife and find out his identity, snooping around. You need that sort of breathing room.
Yeah.
But they're off. I think they perhaps, it may not be this point, but they obviously go and apprehend, there's my iPad going, that'll be shattered into a million pieces, just like Alderaan back in the day. I think it may have been around about the same time when you've got Samuel Gerard going out and trying to find the other guy who escaped, the big black guy. I think his name was Copeland.
Yeah.
Maybe around about the same time, he's getting a breather, they're going for him. And I loved that scene as well, the way that they showed the sort of no-nonsense side of Gerard, because you don't know much about this guy at the start of the movie. Then once you see what he's capable of, very slick, knows what he's doing with a gun.
Yeah.
And we obviously, prior to that, which we'll get into in a moment, he points a gun at, obviously, Kimbo at one point, but it shows you that he is not messing around.
No.
If he gets his hands on this guy, again, he's going to take him out, no matter what, if he is a danger to anyone, that is. So that, again, was great sort of exposition for that character. Also, his friend was, I think, getting hell with Copeland at that point, and he took him out with not even a care for him, and he was slightly upset about it. But Stephen, at some point a bus careens down an embankment. Yeah. Obviously, he gets sentenced to, I think it's death. What the hell's he got again? The lethal injection, but there's an actual name for it. I can't recall. And obviously, he gets taken to the actual prison. He's en route to the prison, and there's a nice little plan formulated. I think there's a guy with something. He starts taking a foaming sort of fitting kids on. He starts stabbing people. I think the driver gets shot with a shotgun.
Yeah.
It careens down. I think you spoke about seeing a documentary or something, how they actually created this sequence. The bus careens down the embankment, lands on the rail, and we've got the train coming. It's like this guy goes from one bad situation to an even worse situation, not an even worse bad situation, with the train oncoming. And I love the way that they framed this, because already you're about 20 minutes into the movie, if that, you already care about this guy. You're hoping that he gets out the bus, and gets out the way of this train. What did you make it, and how did they actually, if you can remember, how did they create that? Because it was quite an impressive action sequence for a movie of this era.
1993, John. So, the old blue screen effect they had. Well, at some point, that transitioned over to green screen. I think this was probably round about the time. Jurassic Park was round about this time, so it would make sense. Yeah. And it was basically just sort of layering the two sort of shots together. And getting, obviously, I don't know if it was Harrison Ford or if it was a stunt double, obviously, to make that jump. But I suppose if it was, two different scenes pieced together, you could use the actor, just jumping onto a mat, I suppose. But it was just amazing how it was done back in the day. It's a great scene as well, because we obviously see Kimbo, showing his humanity, his compassion for one of the guards, which. That one that you don't like takes credit for.
I hate that guy. Yeah. I hate that guy. Who says he was in the Dark Knight or something? And I think it's Harvey Dent flips the coin and tries to kill him. Flips it again when he
Ron Dean, the Detective Kelly.
Just a little shithead.
Well, the one I was talking about was actually the guard. Yeah.
No, this iPad's going to kill me here. It really is starting to annoy. I may start holding it. Yeah, there's a couple of shithead guards in this. Yeah, there's a shithead police officer and there's a shithead guard. Yeah, he takes the credit for saving the little guy. Obviously, Harrison Ford's Kimbo character throws out. When I was watching this again, I'm like, how did that guy not get killed and crushed by that train? Of course, they unearth him, but how the hell did he not get killed? Kimbo just about survived that train wreck. He's flung him out. He's in no fit state to move, but they do. It doesn't matter. That's just suspends your sort of disbelief. You've got to go into these movies and just some things won't make sense. They'll maybe explain it in a certain way, and that just has to be enough. Yeah, and that's it. But yeah, you're right, Stephen, the way that they show his compassion, early doors, you're still not entirely sure whether he is guilty or not. I think I had a good idea he wasn't guilty, because it is, obviously, Harrison Ford. He is the sort of leading, dashing man at this point. He's the protagonist. You're not going to make him a murderer. No. And give us a twist, a Shyamalan-esque twist. That's a hard name to say. That quick. They wouldn't do that, and again, that's just giving you a little indication of what this guy's all about. He is not some killer. He's helping out people, even when his life's still in danger. So a great little sequence. What I love most about this sequence, though, is the fact that he buggers off, and we get one Samuel Gerard coming in, Tommy Lee Jones, equally great, as Harrison Ford, as you did say at this point, Stephen.
Yeah.
When he enters the fray, he just demands respect. He commands the screen. He's slapping down this little sheriff guy left, right and centre. I've got a quote here.
Yeah.
But he basically says, "Well, shit, Sheriff, I'd hate to see that happen, so I guess I'll take over your investigation." And the little guy replies back with, "On what authority? Governor of the state of Illinois, the United States Marshal Office, 5th District of Northern Illinois." He's saying very funny, wire it up and whatnot. And then he's dangling leg chains and just slapping people down.
Yeah.
We see this continue every time the guy comes on the screen for the first maybe 45 minutes.
Yep.
He's such a authentic US Marshal. He's barking out orders. He's relaying information.
John, as well.
Yeah, and he's laying down a thorough plan to try and find this guy. Helicopters.
Because
and
I think the sheriffs at this point declared everyone dead.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it was the US Marshals, if it wasn't Gerard, that said, I think he noticed the chains and went, "Oh, look at that, we've got a live one," or something. I can't, I'm paraphrasing. Yeah, so it shows you how thorough he is and his team as well. You know, and this is the start of the chase after this, of course. You know, this is when the movie's pacing picks up, doesn't it?
Yeah, quite a bit. And then obviously we see him returning. I think he gets, I don't recall how he actually gets. I think he goes to the hospital or something. He somehow gets back to, I want to say it's Philadelphia. It may not be Philly at this point. It may be somewhere else, but he gets to a hospital anyway.
I think it's Chicago, John.
Is it Chicago? Well, this is like the Dark Knight again. I just seen the St. Paddy's Day parade. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not great with American geography. I'm not from America, sadly, but it's some city. He goes to the hospital, and funny scenes in this little sequence, Stephen.
Yeah.
He's in the bathroom of this guy who's had some sort of neck injury. He's shaving, getting rid of that magnificent beard that he had.
Dyeing his hair.
Yeah, I think that's later on, but he does everything in his power to evade also being captured. Next the guy's breakfast or dinner, whatever it was.
A rolling scrambled egg.
Rolling scrambled, Stephen. I wouldn't say no to that. I love me some scrambled egg. But we get that interaction with the little copper who's roaming the corridors, and he's saying to him, "Hey Doc, we're looking for one of those train wreck guys. What does he look like? 6'1", 180, brown hair. Seen anyone like that?" It's just the fact Kimball retorts, quick like that, every day in the mirror without the beard. And then obviously he's away, and I think the guy points to his thigh as well. He's not done his zip up.
That's
He's
right,
got a roll in his mouth.
Yeah.
Just the confidence of this guy. He's on the run. He's on death row. Essentially, if he gets captured, he's done. He's got nothing to lose, and he's able to interact with coppers. And that's sort of cool-headedness that he has in that scene is something that requires later on in the movie. He continues to push the boundary to try and clear his name. So what did you make about that scene, Stephen? Obviously, the fact that Harrison flinging little jokes in.
It's showing the character of the man. You know, that he's able to stay composed. You know, even when I know he's not getting interrogated, but the sight of a police uniform and asking questions would have most men breaking down and admitting guilt. You know, but he plays on it. You know, and he offers a joke to this officer. You know, just to throw him off the scent. It's a very clever scene, John. But yeah, I mean, the transformation in Kimball as well at this point physically, you know, is very clever as well. You know,
can't forget that Harrison whips the top off at this point and heals a wound. And he is absolutely shredded, man. As you said, Stephen, this guy's in his late 40s in this movie.
I would say so, yeah.
Ripped to hell. Just an absolute Adonis in terms of physicality. And again, that maybe explains, almost Death Wish-esque. There's some little issues with that Death Wish movie where how's the Doctor become so good at physicality and toting guns and whatnot. He's already quite physically capable, so that explains when he has to do some action sequences later on how he's so adaptable and good at doing it. But Stephen, I don't know what you made about the actual tunnel sequence as well. This sort of sets the tone for this cat and mouse chase, as you did say. The helicopter's cornering him I can't even speak. Cornering him in the tunnel. Slow down. Slow it down.
He goes down the drain, doesn't he?
Yes, and Gerard obviously thinks he's got him. Disappears down the drain. And we get that moment, the two face off for the first time in this movie, not for the last.
No.
And he also takes his gun. He says, "I didn't kill my wife. I don't care."
Yeah.
And these two guys back and forth, amazing, man. And he jumps off a dam.
It's a fantastic scene, John. It's the stand. I do this every review. There's always a scene that reminds me of a film. This is the one for this film for me. The tension between both actors as well was great. You know, just the dialogue between them. And you're understanding the relationship that Gerard's got with Kimball. He's just another guilty man. You know, he doesn't care what he's done. That's not my job. You know, my job, I should say, the job that made you guilty was the judge's job.
Yeah.
I'm not the judge. My job is to retrieve and get you, and that's what I'm going to do. I don't care what you've got to say, you know. So, but there's something in the background with working on Gerard as well, because he, you know, for every action that Kimball's doing, Gerard knows about it, you know, and he must be thinking, why is he doing this? Why is he going back to that hospital? Why is he doing this? You know, why is he helping this person, etc.? Most people would just, you know, disappear to the next city or something like that and maybe try and get off the grid as soon as possible. But he seems to be going back to this hospital, etc., you know. And, you know, Gerard, being the smart man that he is, although he says he doesn't care, I think maybe about, at this point, there's about 5% of him's, you know, trying to work out what is it Kimball's about here, you know. If he's a guilty man, why does he keep going back to his old haunts and stuff like that, try to, you know, find things out. So you're right, John. This scene, as I said, you know, it's very suspenseful, you know, and there's only one way, Kimball, you know, there's only one situation, you know, to get him out of this, and that is to take the leap of faith. It killed most people, this, you know. You don't know what you're going to hit. You know, it could be a bunch of rocks down there.
In fact, he flips, he somersaults off, he doesn't even jump.
And as I recall, John, I should have probably mentioned this at the start of the review, I've not seen the film in you know, a wee while, maybe about a year or two, so I'm convinced that it's not a dummy they throw down. I think it is a stuntman. I think that someone actually did do that. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, if wants to comment, but I'm convinced that they used a stuntman for this scene. It's a fantastic shot as well, the way it's done.
Those Cliff Booth guys do, Stephen.
But again, Gerard, doesn't believe he's dead. He's still, you know, show me a body. It's basically Bane, isn't it? And
he's dead.
You know, the Dark Knight Rises.
It'll be easy to find.
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah.
It'll be easy to find, that's what he says. Stephen, as I did say, you see the difference in these two personalities as well. This guy is just determined. He has this physicality about him, Tommy Lee Jones, this indefatigability. Obviously Samuel Gerard. And you've got the sort of more cerebral, cunning side of a Richard Kimball. He's off trying to piece together the investigation into his wife Steph and clear his name. I loved that, just that back and forth. The intelligence behind this movie, that's something I have to get into. I was going to touch upon that later on, but look, it doesn't matter, it's just a guideline, man. Let's do it now. I love action movies that are not so superficial popcorn flicks. I like it to be blended with a bit of drama and a little bit of cerebralness under the surface. Yeah. And we get that in this movie. We get it with two. I mean, you're not going to bring two drama actors like this into a movie like this and just waste them like a Statham and a Dwayne Johnson and like a sort of Hobbs and Shaw effort. Yeah. You've got to give them some meat to the bones in terms of dialogue, acting, script. And you get that in this movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, they go off and he's doing things. It's almost like what Christopher McQuarrie's trying to do with Mission Impossible. There's big bombastic action and little spurts, but then you've got really quiet drama-driven moments as well. Yeah. Something I really enjoyed. I don't know if that's something you enjoyed, Stephen. What about, and before you actually let you in, the poetry I've says as well, and irony, I don't know if that's even the correct terminology, but just Kimball having to elude a very determined state and authority, when it's those same authority and state that have let him down badly, put him on death row, when he also didn't kill his wife. He's having to do everything to elude them and actually clear his name. I thought that was just, there's something poetic about that as well. Well,
the man's been found guilty, John, so you can't really fault the authorities in that sense. You know, he's already been tried and convicted. You know, now he's an escaped convict. You know, that's what they're pursuing. They're not pursuing a possible suspect to the murder. He committed the murder as far as they were concerned. So I do understand that, but it just kind of adds more complications to his situation, because he's having to sort of dance around these people, these authorities, to get to the truth. But again, you just go back to your first question. Yes, I do like that in an action film. I think all action films should have drama in them, you know, with substance. I don't mind popcorn action flicks, the likes of, well, basically anything that, you know, that Dwayne Johnson is in, you know, and I don't mean that in a bad way or anything like that. I can enjoy them to a certain level, but they skim the surface of a good action film, if you like, very much like the early Arnold Schwarzenegger films. But in this case, there's more complexities to this. This is more drama thriller than action adventure. Action adventure scenes are thrown in there just to sort of bulk up the film, really. It is more of a cat and mouse sort of drama film, but
and I love it.
There's dark humour in there as well, isn't there? Especially from Tommy Lee Jones. Some of his lines are just fantastic. They're very quotable, so very much like John McClane in Die Hard. Just some of the sort of retorts, very quick-witted. I suppose that being in his position, he's got to lead with authority, and he's got to, one of the things that does my head in about his team is, though, no one ever sort of challenges them. They basically just do what they're told. They're like lapdogs, Yeah, exactly. They put him on a pedestal.
Because your man from The Matrix, whatever the hell his name is, I can't even be bothered looking it up.
Joe, somebody.
Yeah, Pantaleano, yes, that's it. You've got a very complicated name. He does, I think when they unearth that he is in, wherever he is, Philadelphia, Chicago, they hear the elevated train. The way that's pieced together as well, sort of isolating the sound in the background when he's speaking to Gerard, Kimball speaking to him on the phone.
Yeah.
The way they isolate that, and just the technology
I
back
love
then.
That, John. I love that in any kind of mystery film, where they get some kind of footage or something like that, and somebody notices a slightest little thing is out of place. Like Speed, you remember the CCTV footage where it was on a loop?
Yeah.
I think someone moved a bag or something like that on the bus, and this, the Dennis Hopper character, he noticed this little glitch. He noticed that very little detail like that. So it's very similar in this, with audio. Where they're trying to establish what that sound is in the background. Turns out it's a bell, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a bell on a train, an overpass. I think they hear the announcer first.
Oh yeah,
and it says something about a market or something. I can't recall what he says, and they're like, "That's here." He's like, "Jesus Christ, or shit, he's came back home," or something along those lines. But you do, Stephen, you see that sort of hero worshipping as well. I think they say, he says, "I knew that was an elevated train," and he clearly didn't. I mean, he was saying that. How do you know it's an elevated train? He's trying to take credit. He's joking though.
Yeah. Back
and forth with the team, and that guy says to him, "Shit, Gerard, when I die, I want to come back and be you." And he replies with, "What? Good and beautiful? You mean?" I mean, he's not good, he's not beautiful for sure. But you're right, the hero worship him. It's almost like he's a godly. And it's because he's so good at his job. He's the sort of coordinator, he's the leader. He's the man in this US Marshals outfit.
Yeah.
You're right as well, Stephen. There was another thing, I think he says, "I don't bargain." You hear that? To that guy, it's his sort of team. One of the guys in his team that nearly gets killed when he shoots Copeland.
Oh, he loses his
hearing, he whispers in his ear.
I forgot about it, but yeah.
"I don't bargain," you hear that?
Yeah.
So you see the sort of...
He's dressed up as a chicken, yeah. That's right.
That scene was great, by the way.
Yeah.
When they're walking, he's kidding on, he's a drunk and a tramp with the other guy. It's just brilliant the way they all come together and swarm on this house.
Yeah.
Absolutely magnificent. But yeah, Stephen, I agree about obviously the sort of Dwayne Johnson things, as we did say, the sort of supernatural, I'm having a mare today, superficial, not supernatural and superficial natures of these movies, these modern day action movies.
Yeah.
Something that kind of puts me off. I like a good meat and bones sort of drama driven thing to it. But Stephen, also at this point, as I did say, he's in his home city, he's trying to piece together the mystery surrounding his wife's death. He's going back and forth in the hospitals, County Cook Hospital, I think it is. He's saving lives, saves a little boy's life.
Yep.
And we have a cameo for maybe 2 scenes from Julianne Moore.
Yeah, it was a weird one.
Yeah, she's one of the doctors working in this hospital. But again, it's just highlighting, if there's even a hint of ambiguity around this guy's guilt or innocence, he's a good man. He's doing his best, even under high stress.
There's another character in this particular sequence, John Bones, I think he's called, isn't he? And he's not the best actor in the world, is he? He's the one that kind of...
the janitor?
He breaks down very quickly, doesn't he?
I didn't see him. I've not seen Richard.
Yeah.
We didn't ask you that.
No.
We think you're lying.
It's terrible, isn't it?
Because he's floating around, Stephen. He's getting into the prosthetics department. He's kidding on, he's cleaning blinds and whatnot, hacking into the PC and finding out the list of... I mean, I love that scene as well. He's lying in the bed, falling asleep, studying prosthetics, so he can understand exactly what this guy had, so he can hack into the sort of mainframe of this hospital.
It's all in detail, John, yeah.
And then he narrows it down to 5 people. and I think he goes and visits someone in a jail or something like that. Then he narrows it down to the final guy. But it's just, again, the sort of brass neck of this guy. He's stoating around, as we say here in Scotland. Hospitals, there's police there, and he's saving people. He's just an absolute hero, this guy. But Stephen, that scene when he does visit the actual jail to speak to one of the potential prosthetic guys.
Yeah.
We get that great moment where we have Samuel Gerard getting up the stairs. He's pissed off about waiting at the elevator.
Oh, right, yeah, I know.
Get Kimball bailing because he realises it's not the right guy.
The door's shut, isn't it? The foot's stuck in the... Yeah.
Great cinematography as well. They're going up opposite staircases. He shouts to Richard! And like an idiot, like the guy in The Great Escape who's teaching everyone German and telling them don't answer to English, and he answers to English, he turns around and looks at him. So that gives the game away. We get a chase sequence. They're going down the stairs, and you're right, he slips through the door. He's shooting again, shows you he will not mess around. He's trying to shoot him. Yeah, he's trying. Yeah, exactly. And he gets away. We get the same Paddy's Day sequence. It put me in mind of A Dark Knight, funnily enough.
Same city, John.
Same city, yes. And it's just the indefatigability of this guy again. He just blends in and he slips away. What was your thoughts on that sequence? It was tense filled. It was great cinematography.
I didn't like that plastic bowler hat he was wearing. It was a bit cheap looking, but
I was glad he ditched that sort of jacket as well.
It was a Parker or something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, but
it was something he found in a bin, wasn't it?
Terrible, man.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Not as good as that Patagonia jacket at the start. He is a man of style back then.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Harrison's always been famous for his coats and his jackets, John, in his films.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it was a good sequence. It was a good. I thought we'd have got a longer chase sequence at this point. It's funny, we talk about a cat and mouse film. There's not a lot of chasing involved. It's more both of them seem to be in the same location at the same time, rather than
try to outdo each other.
Rather than long chase sequences. Not that I recall anyway. I might be wrong, John, but I can't remember.
There's not many. No, it's more mental outwitting.
Yeah.
Try to remain a step ahead of the other guy, and him try to plan out what his next step will be. And there's just that mental stress always on Kimball throughout this movie.
Yeah.
He's trying to piece together what the hell happened, find the perpetrator, and then he's being chased.
Exactly, and I think that's why it's important we don't have Tommy Lee Jones' character hot on his heels for the whole film, because he needs that time to investigate and piece it together himself, and if you've got him on your tail all the time, you're not going to have that sort of time to do that. But no, I like the scene. You're right, it's a good sequence as well, the way he just blends into the crowd as well. I mean, if you're going to get chased with the police, do it on St. Paddy's Day, because there's a lot of people around. Just blend right in, wear something green, and you'll be okay.
Very fortuitous, Stephen, indeed. But look, man, what did you make about this plot? I've said it's just the way that he masterfully pieces it together, the mystery of his wife's death, the web of lies involving the pharmaceutical company, it's Devlin McGregor, his friend Dr. Nichols, Mr. Doctor, that's two prefixes, Dr. Nichols. Just the way he implicates them all, it's just beautiful, Stephen, the way that all the pieces fall into place, the way it all comes together, in the midst of being chased and action sequences and St. Paddy's Day, it's just beautiful, man. I love the plot in this movie. I think it's fantastic.
It's clever, John. I think it's clever as well that at some point Dr. Nichols is almost like an ally to him. He's offering him money. He's offering him some kind of help. What can I do to help? I mean, he could have really just turned him in and gave the game away, but he didn't. He strung him along long enough to find out what's he doing back in this town. What is it he's wanting? But I thought it was great, and I thought the acting between both. I don't know the chap's name. I think it's a German name.
Yeah, he's got a very German. It's Jorian Crab. Jorian Crab. Between
him and Harrison Ford, I thought the two of them played very well against each other. Very close at one stage in their relationship. And then obviously by the end of the film, it's all went to shit.
Stephen, and look, obviously that does take us into the actual confrontation scene. He's pieced it all together. He's raided the actual sites guy as well, the guy that actually killed his wife. Really intelligently left the call hanging so the police could track it to the house. Gerard turns up, he scans around, he knows something's not
prints
right.
Everywhere,
Yeah, prints are everywhere. He realises that this guy's a wrong-un, basically. He's a corrupt cop, he's an ex-cop.
That's right,
now working security for Devlin McGregor.
That dodgy trench coat.
Yeah, that
just
trench coat.
Inspector Gadget.
Or Al Capone. It's like ridiculous, man. It's like the sort of
Columbo.
Prohibition era sort of gear that people wore. terrible, man. And he's a weird looking guy. I've says something.
There's something about people that kind of build wearing a trench coat's not right. You know, it's like when Crichton wears one in Red Dwarf. It doesn't look right, you know.
Yeah, shoulders are up here.
Yeah,
it's almost like
C3PO with a hoodie on.
I'd love to see that. It'd be fantastic. But obviously, Stephen, he confronts him. It all starts to come together. Just prior to that, we have a moment with Sykes on the train as well. I'm getting ahead of myself here. And also, I think he tries to kill him or something like that. And Harrison comes away with a fantastic quote. You missed your stop. Bang, hits him in the head. And again, you see the physicality of this guy. This doctor's not to be trifled with.
No.
He may be a top cardiovascular surgeon, but he is a man who knows his way around some violence as well.
Yeah.
Leaves him. I think he shoots a copper or something. So that just again linking him. He's a wrong'un. He's trying to shoot me. He's trying to shoot a copper. He killed my wife. He goes and confronts Dr. Nichols. What a scene this is, Stephen. So many floors up. I think it's about 24th floor. They're having a big press conference for this drug, this sort of liver anti-blood clotting drug or something like that. And the way he walks in, obviously a wanted man, the place hushes.
Yeah.
And he basically says, you nearly get away with it or something along those lines.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Totally confronts him. And then we have a great finale to this movie. They're rolling about on rooftops and falling through glass windows, and people are getting hit in the head. I think it's the Cyrus guy. He's getting, I keep calling him Cyrus, I don't know why.
Cypher
is getting hit in the head with huge metal things and whatnot.
Yeah.
Really intriguing ending to this movie. I really, really enjoyed it.
As I recall, John, I always remember thinking, you don't want to kill this guy because you're still the suspect, or you're still the guilty man, I should say. You know, so it's interesting, but you actually mentioned it earlier there, John. He sets it up in a way that they've got the evidence, you know, so Gerard coming in, you know, and you think it's going to be all guns blazing, but basically that's him telling, you know, Kimball, you know, we've got the evidence, so stand down, basically. But obviously, you know, Dr. Nichols is not going to go he's not going to go quietly, you know, because he knows that he's banged to rights at this point. You know, and he wants to obviously take down as many people as he can. But it's a great finale, John, you know, and I think there's not many occasions in this film Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones are together. You know, I think maybe four times, yeah, that's about right. You know, so just that sort of them meeting up for the last time at the end of the film was great. You know, just
takes the handcuffs off him.
I thought it was a nice scene, you know, because it was quite an emotional scene as well for Kimball, you know, I think, because he's not a happy person, you know, naturally he's not a happy person. What happened to his wife? A lot of films sort of fall foul to this thing where if this scenario played out in another film, the fact that he's, you know, the US Marshals uncuffing him, he'd be all happy, yeah, I'm free, yes, happy ending. That's not the way real life is, unfortunately. No. He's going to live with this for the rest of his life, that, you know, his wife has been murdered, you know, and that's the way that Harrison Ford plays the character. You know, he's not overjoyous or anything like that and hugging, you know, Gerard or anything like that and thanking him for anything like that, you know. He's very drained at this point, I think. You know, just emotionally drained, relieved more than anything is probably the correct word to say, you know. And Tommy Lee Jones in this scene as well is great. You know, he's a very comforting person at this point, you know, and he's...
The quote's great, Stephen. He says, I know it, Richard, I know it, but it's over now. You know, I'm glad I need the rest.
Yeah.
And I think they both needed the rest.
It's a great shot, yeah.
Stephen, I loved the fact that he didn't, you're right, play it sort of happy. Yay, I'm free.
Yeah.
Because as you did say, mentally, in a very dark place.
Yeah.
Physically, he's been on the run.
Yeah.
He's been trying to piece together things. He'd be absolutely exhausted. And then you've got that shithead copper saying, I mean, he's not innocent. He was convicted in a court of law. He's guilty. I'm like,
yeah,
little
I know.
shit.
What chance have you got, eh?
You little conniving shithead. Admit you're wrong. You were wrong. But yeah, great ending to the movie. Again, a little sporadic burst of action between him and obviously Nichols, and then also we get the happily ever after sort of, well, not so happily, but it's happy for Kimball. He's not got his wife, but he's got his freedom back.
Yep.
But Stephen, the performances in the movie, I've just not, you know what, scratch the performances. Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones in this film. Yes, a great fugitive, I've said, and an equally brilliant US Marshal. Amazing chemistry. I've said Heat-esque presence. I think it's Heat where we've got Pacino and De Niro very rarely sharing any screen time, but when they get together, magic happens, sparks fly.
Yeah.
separated for large spells, I've said, but they're still remaining compelling. I think that just speaks volumes for these two actors.
It's funny you should say that, John, because obviously the cinematographer for this film, Michael Chapman, he worked on the likes of Raging Bull, Taxi Driver, you know, another one, Evolution. I'm not even going to put that in the same bracket as those two classics, but the cinematography in this film is absolutely amazing. They really do get the feel right down to just to sort of pair up with the plot as well. I don't really want to get into performances too much either, because Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones in this film were on par with each other. Harrison Ford naturally getting top billing in the film because he is the fugitive.
Yes,
but
and he's the man.
I just thought both of them were excellent in this film. You know, as we said, 4 scenes probably together were probably the standout scenes in the film, ironically, you know. But that's just the way it is, you know. As I said, it's not a massively large. It's not a massive cast in this film by any means. So you're going to expect both of those two main players to be the standout performers in the film. But Andrew Davis, the director, as I mentioned at the very start of this review, John, the only other film I know that I've seen him do was Under Siege, which was from the year before. It is the only Steven Seagal film I like. Tommy Lee Jones was in this as well, so obviously there's a bit of history between both of them, you know. Yep, that's it, yeah.
Stephen, I've not seen many Steven Seagal movies. I seem to actively avoid watching Steven Seagal movies because Steven Seagal, for me, is not a very good actor. He's not even an actor for me.
He's a good martial artist.
That's it, yeah. He's not an actor though. And his hair's terrible. God awful. He's powdering his hair.
Powdered rat.
Yes, powdered rat. Terrible. Well, Stephen, yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, if I was to really have my arm twisted, I mean, I'd pick Harrison Ford. He's the standout performer in this movie. He's the fugitive. He's got the more compelling story of the two. He's the man doing all of the legwork. Yeah. I mean, Gerard's just chasing him for the movie.
Well, the thing is, Tommy Lee Jones has got other actors to bounce off of. It's very rare in this film Harrison Ford's got other actors to play off of when you think about it, because he's on the move too much to really dedicate too much time to anyone, and it's really only the people he's up against, you know, that he's got to obviously interact with. But I think that's harder at times. See, when you're obviously working, it's going to be very interesting because we're going to be doing a review on obviously Castaway performances. It's going to be very.
And you talk about performers, Stephen, probably one of the greatest actors of all time, and Tom Hanks, if not the greatest.
Yeah.
I think Daniel Day-Lewis would have something to say about that. Marlon Brando would have something to say about that. Maybe Paul Newman. But he's, I mean, that guy just. I mean, he stole the show. Castaway. Wilson had something to say about it, but he stole the show. But Steve, you're right. Just the authenticity as well that he brought to that relationship at the start of the movie. I mean, he was maybe like 2-3 sporadic little short scenes, flashbacks with his wife, and you just felt the love and the romance between the two.
That's all it takes.
I mean, that shows you the level of acting this guy brings to a movie. I guarantee you, directors of length and breadth of every country in the planet was just screaming to have Harrison in the movie at this point. We've done a sort of biography of this guy's career back in the day, in the dark days, which you do not want to visit. But he was just fantastic in the 80s and the 70s and through into the 90s. He was doing distinctly different movies. I'm kilt with my iPad here. And they were all unique characters and unique concepts. Almost what DiCaprio's doing now. He's just not wanting to be stereotyped or typecast into anything. He's doing different roles and things that interest him. He did this 30-40 years ago. He'd done it so well. But Stephen, final thoughts on the film. As I did say, growing up watching this, I just loved it. I loved it then. I loved it somewhere in between. And I love it now. I just love these two actors. I love the chemistry between the two. I love the story. I love intelligent action movies, period. That's why I'm really enjoying Christopher McQuarrie and his take on Mission Impossible in the last 2 movies. What he's going to give us next, I think he's shooting them back to back. I love it when action movies do this. They mix some cerebral storytelling. That's why I can't wait for Tenet as well, with the bold Christopher Nolan doing some cerebral, drama-driven action. Love it, man. I love this movie. Right up there, one of my favourite Harrison Ford non-Star Wars Indiana Jones movies.
It's one of my favourite films, John. Probably, I would say it was in my top 20. You know, when it came out, I was obsessed with it. You know, I watched it over and over again. I didn't get fed up with it, and it's because of the performances. Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford. A lot of their scenes were improvised as well. You know, that shows you the calibre of acting.
Didn't know that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's just natural to these guys, you know. Just the whole pacing of the film I loved as well. There wasn't a dull moment in the film, even when it did slow down in that middle bit. It wasn't dull. That, in fact, the middle bit was when he was dressed as the chicken. I'm pretty sure that's when he was in hideout in that bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
So there's still interesting things going on, but it's a film I like to go back to every now and again, John, because I just think it's well directed. Cinematography is fantastic. I don't really know too much about the score, to be honest with you.
No.
But performances, you're not going to get any better.
Score was fine. It was okay. Not hugely memorable, but it didn't have to be.
No.
When you have great actors and great cinematography and other technical aspects, propping it up. Look, guys, what do you make about The Fugitive? What is your thoughts? I nearly says it wrong there. That's quite concerning. What's your thoughts on the performances? Or thoughts on this movie as a whole? If you've got anything to say at all, you can comment below and let us know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed, and you can subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. And if you do, then you will see us again tomorrow for our review of Castaway.